Arise, drink, the journey is too great for you. When Jesus asked his disciples, who do people say I am? That didn't mean he didn't know who he was. And even after Peter responded, he helped Peter recognize who he is and who he has been called to be. He said to him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood had not revealed it unto you, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Wow! No one had ever given Peter such a revelation about who he was, ever. Now these are what I want to lay in your hearts. Jesus knew who he was. He only wanted to be sure that those who believed in him actually know who they believe in. Peter knew, according to Jesus, only from the Father in heaven. Peter knew who Jesus was, but did not know who he was or who he had been called to be. He was lucky to have heard it from Jesus. This saved him from confusion and identity crisis. He received a promise of power and authority. The focus of this class of audacity today is Peter. That is you, because Peter was once like you. Someone living without knowing who they are. Someone living without knowing why they are living. The focus is on you, who is just living life, and that's it. Peter was once a fisherman for so many years, but he didn't find fulfillment until Christ called him, and immediately he followed. But who wouldn't accept such a call when a single 10 minutes meeting gave him the number of fishes that almost broke his net? Peter knew that there must be more to this man. He decided to leave behind the ocean and the fishes to follow the one who created oceans and fishes. So Peter obviously wasn't getting fulfillment from his fishing skills and career, except for being able to catch a few fishes in his nets, sell them or feed on them, and then repeat it over and over for so many years until Jesus came. Until Jesus came. Two things happened when Jesus came. He called and he answered. If there is no call, there won't be an answer. And if there is no answer, there won't be fulfillment. But thank God he answered, because that gave him two things, fulfillment and meaning to life. A lot of us are living life without meaning and without fulfillment. We are just like Peter, the one who had not met Christ. The Father laid it in his heart who his Son truly is. And then Jesus told him who he, Peter, truly is. What if Peter never agreed to follow Jesus? He would have lived the rest of his life as a poor fisherman, dead and forgotten. But Jesus came into his life. He accepted and he got a deeper meaning to life, which gave him fulfillment. He transcended from fishing fish to fishing men. He joined Christ to fish men, and Christ fished out his purpose. Now he is dead, physically, so many thousands of years ago, but he left a legacy as a fisher of men to be remembered and studied for millions of years and generations to come until Jesus returns. All of this was only possible through Jesus. A single meeting with Jesus transformed his life from the one who was interested in fishes to the one who was interested in men. You are like Peter. I'm not saying you're not happy with whatever you are doing, work, business, career, but you would only find fulfillment in Christ. You will only find fulfillment in Jesus. It takes Jesus coming into your life for you to understand that there is more to life than what you are chasing. There is more to life than riches and wealth and children and power and influence. He said he is the way, the truth and the life. Way, truth, and life. You must pass through Jesus. He alone will tell you who you are. And you can only find fulfillment living in Jesus and through Jesus. Peter had a choice to remain selfish, providing and feeding and leading only his family. But he accepted to follow Jesus because he realized that true happiness comes from service to God and service to humanity. He understood that there is more to life than eating, drinking, and making merry. He realized that the best prize is no price. Things you do freely, totally out of love, expecting nothing and taking nothing. That is where true satisfaction and fulfillment comes. When you work and you get paid, it is not a big deal because it is an exchange of knowledge or service for money. They paid you and they can decide to call you off tomorrow, or you may decide to look for a better job. So it's just a transactional relationship. When you see yourself doing something that has no tag or price on it, and that gives you immense joy and peace and happiness and fulfillment that you can't even tell where it's coming from, then you have really understood what life is all about. And someone may be confused, asking, how? How do I leave my job? Do I close the business? Should I stop my career? No, but you can be a light, even in whatever field you find yourself. Look around you. There are people who are lost. Preach the gospel to them. Introduce them to Christ. There are people who need help, comfort, motivation, encouragement. Find them. Render whatever service or help you can without making it transactional. Having the Spirit of God in you keeps your conscience in check. Always seeking out people and how you can be of help to them, how you can be their answered prayers, and how you can solve the problems in their lives. Jesus found fulfillment because he laid down his life for us with no price, at no cost. That is eternal joy for him. Yes, he did it out of love, out of sacrifice, and for the sake of God. If Jesus had decided not to come when the Father asked, who will I send? Then there wouldn't be salvation for mankind. If Peter had remained a fisherman, then he would never have known that he is a rock so strong and big to carry the foundation and the weight of the church. If he had not abandoned his fishing nets, he may have been able to build a bungalow, but never, even in his most adventurous dreams, would he ever think he could be handed the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Oh, baby, you're scratching the surface outside of Jesus. See how small you play because you lack the vision and the knowledge of who you are. Because you've refused to know this Jesus for yourself and hear him tell you what keys he has placed on your shoulder, what he would like to build on you, and what kingdom he wants you to oversee. Follow Jesus and see how small you've downplayed your destiny and purpose. You're playing small with God, holding on to the world, tightening your grip on a life that gives nothing eternal to you. Free your grip. Lose your hold on mere mortal fantasies and see what you would never have seen in this world, what gain you would never have gotten from this world. He said, whosoever loses their life for my sake will find it, and whosoever keeps their life will lose it. I can imagine how Peter felt in his heart as a result of the revelation of who he is right at that moment. He must have flashed back to his life as a fisherman and his life as a believer and follower of Jesus. He would have imagined how possible it would have been to have what he had if he had not forsaken the fisherman's nets. He wouldn't even be able to trace the margins. A life without Jesus is a life of constant struggle for satisfaction. But nothing in this world ever satisfies. Nothing. You want this today, and tomorrow you want that. You have the best today, and the best of the best comes out tomorrow. Is that the essence of life and living? No. Jesus is the essence of life. And in him, only in him is fulfillment and true satisfaction. I'm not here to tell you to believe my words. I am just a person who has found truth and is happy even if eternity calls today. But before I leave you, I would want you to ask yourself, if eternity calls today, if God reveals to me that I have just 24 hours to spend on earth, what would I do within the minutes? Whatever answer, satisfaction or dissatisfaction you get from your reply already tells you whether you're living a life of fulfillment or a life of struggle.